Welcome to LT Vegan Living. My name's Gary. I'm making coffee in the background. I never planned this stuff perfect. Anyway, today we're making kiwi bread. It's a quick bread. It's an easy bread. It's a delicious bread. Come and watch. Welcome to LT Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. I buy lots of vegetables and fruit. If you can see a little bit of my countertop, I have right now over $100 worth of persimmons right here on the counter. And every couple days, I harvest the persimmons, I put them in their freezer bags, and they're getting ready to be the persimmon pies, which I'll be showing you soon. But I also love kiwis. Every time I go to Sam's Club, I either buy the orange or the green kiwis. They're delicious and they're part of my diet. I don't know what they give me, but they give me satisfaction of eating a delicious fruit. I started thinking, why couldn't I make a kiwi bread? Now, I'm gonna explain to you the kiwis are very wet, and so I'm cooking the bread a little longer than normal. I'm adding an extra 5 minutes to it, just so that I make sure that it's cooked all the way through. Simple ingredients, everything there is in front. So we're going to be using all-purpose flour and baking powder, baking soda. You can use salt of your choice. I just like pink Himalayan sea salt. Organic granulated sugar. Butter. If you really don't want this, you can use applesauce. But the butter kind of gives it a smoother taste. Then, because we're not using eggs, this is a vegan channel, we're using a flax egg, so it'll be 2 tablespoons of this plus water. And we're also using vanilla extract. And our kiwis. You need a cup of kiwis, and it's better if it's gushy, like these right here. So where they're so soft, they're ready to just pop out at you and just jump in your mouth and say, "Eat me!" Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear this off. Oh, there's more. I'm going to put each of the loaves in these little pans because I want to give them around to other people. And I'm not greasing the pans because I'm going to put parchment paper in them. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to make it work. And on the very top of each of them, I have these 2 are not so ripe. I'm going to put kiwis, sliced kiwis on the top to decorate it. This one is not going to have some fancy tofu sugar topping. It's just going to be au naturel. Okay, so let's get started. In the last home, I had a very comfortable oven, easy to get at, but here it's different. The ovens are lower, make sure the pans are out. Sometimes my wife stores things in here. Okay, so this is safe. We're gonna put bake 350 degrees, 0, and we're gonna press start. Like all ovens, it tells you instantly there's 100-degree heat in here. There isn't, but that's the beginning number. And then as soon as it starts to be the right temperature, it's gonna give me this cute little beep saying, "I'm here." Okay. Okay, what we have here is flaxseed meal. Let me show you. You don't have to buy this brand, it's just that this always works out for us. Flaxseed meal. What flaxseed meal is flaxseed that's been ground into a powder. Not exactly a powder, but rough like this. So what you're gonna do, okay, see, like that. So So what you're going to do is you're going to take, let's see now, where we're at. Okay, right there. That was the oven. Okay, let's start over again. 2 tablespoons you put that in next, like that, and you add to it 6 tablespoons of water. Now, it would be better if it's warm water. And then you just mix it, like this. And then you set it aside. It takes 5 minutes for this to coagulate, to thicken up. This is gonna be basically what people use who are not vegan, they would use eggs. This is your binder. So you can put this to the side. Next, you're gonna work on so this is a cute little thing I got. It's a 1 cup container. So that way you know exactly what you have. So you put away your water, don't need that anymore. And then we're gonna use something that we don't mess up the counter. And these are very, very ripe, very, very ripe kiwis. I'm going to use a knife and gingerly cut the skin off. You can start just about anywhere you want it if you wanted to, like this. And you're not going to keep the bad parts, the over ripe parts. This is just peeling right off. Now my belief is if your kiwis are very, very ripe, you can put in less sugar. Cut it in half. That's what a kiwi looks like when it's super ripe. Practically falling apart in my hands. Then you're going to mash it. Just use a fork. Use a blender if you wanted to. Not necessary. See how liquidy it is? That's all you need. And that was 4 kiwis. I'm gonna take these other very ripe ones, and I'm gonna use them for something else. These two are gonna go probably in my breakfast cereal. And these four are going back in the fridge. You're gonna see a pad on my left side. That's because that's my recipe pad. What I normally do is I take a recipe that's not vegan, because my wife has thousands of recipes, many books, and I convert that into a recipe that I want to work for my channel. All right, so that's why. And it's always like this, scratched on, something doesn't work out, I change it, last minute stuff. Sometimes what I do is I just prepare myself ahead of time so I don't mess up. What are we doing next? The dry ingredients. Okay, so what I've done is on top of each of these ingredients is the exact spoon or measuring cup that I want. That way I don't have to rush over and try to figure it out. And this is the bowl I'm going to be putting it in. Okay, so let's get started. So the first dry ingredient is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So I like to use King Arthur because I just think it's really superior. And normally I would sift this to get the exact proportions, but this is a very wet bread. I'm not doing that. So we're going to just put them in. Watch me make a mess. Okay, I guess I need a knife. So what I did is I went to the store and I never can find either my spoons or my cups, so I bought them magnetic. These are magnetic. I'll show you to you towards the end. Or no, that didn't work. All right, so that's the flour. Next is going to be 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I like to use Glaba Girl double acting. So same thing, put it in, share that. Then we need to get the baking soda. Ooh, new container, I didn't see that. Tear it all open, I'm going to be putting it in the bag. It's going to need 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. Pink Himalayan sea salt, needs 1/2 teaspoon. You don't want to get any lumps, you just want to get it in there, close it up. Then you use 2/3 cups of sugar. All right. My kiwis are extremely ripe and full of flavor and full of sugar. If your kiwis are green or semi-green and not as ripe as mine are, then you use 2/3 cup of sugar. But we're going to use less sugar. We're going to use, where the heck did it go? There it is. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the 2/5 cup of sugar container, but I'm going to take some of off the top, like maybe 1/4 inch down. Okay, not very accurate, but it's because the kiwis are extremely delicious right now. All right, so, and it's sweet. Okay, then, of course I'm not prepared. All right. So then you get a spoon and just mix it in. You can't over mix it right now because there's no wet ingredient. You can mix it as much as you want and it's not going to make any difference. Pick it up to the bottom, pick it up to the top, whatever you want to do. If you don't like using a spoon, use a whisk. Okay, that's probably more than enough. That's the dry ingredients. Next, we're going to do the wet ingredients. So right away after I finish the dry ingredients, I put everything away. I'm not going to reuse it. I'm not going to make another bread. Put it away, except for the flour. This is a brand new, I just bought this at my local Stater Brothers. There are many, many stores that have King Arthur. You can even buy it online or Amazon.com. I store mine in a plastic bag. For one thing, and then I store it in the refrigerator in the garage. I have another double refrigerator like I have in the kitchen here, and that way my flour is always fresh. And when I have the freshest flour, I believe that the bread tastes better. But I have secrets in case you don't have it. So just pretend this flour was not as fresh as it should be. You could use vital gluten, 1 tablespoon, add it to the entire mixture. It would raise the bread up, it'd be just fine. It's just a way to basically, probably as time goes along, maybe the gluten disappears. Some alien comes over and scoops it out of the bag. I don't know what happens. But then the flour, sometimes it makes flat looking bread. I found out using the vital gluten, that works. Now, of course, if you have celiac disease, you have a gluten allergy, this bread isn't for you. I'll be making some gluten-free bread soon. All right, we'll put this away. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're doing the wet ingredients. All right, so remember that if you're following the starch solution, you don't have to use butter, you can use applesauce. So this requires you to use quite a bit of butter. I'm making this for my wife, so I'm going to give her everything she wants. So this is going to take half of a cup of butter. What we're going to do is we're going to melt it. The cooperation comes up in a microwave. You don't have to do it. There's a lot of ways to melt butter. Okay, so I'm just going to toss it over here in the microwave. 30 seconds. Actually, it doesn't even need 30 seconds. Let me show you where that's at. Right over here, you can see the yellow spot. And that is the butter. Let's take a look and see how it is. It's getting there. Yeah, perfect. All right. Pour your butter. Where's my spatula? I have a dog right here waiting for me to drop something. Okay, I'm just going to step in front of the camera. Ah, she moved. Okay, and pour your butter in the bowl. See, all liquid. And then you make sure you get all of it. Then the next step is your flax egg. Just pour that in. Your binder, basically. And after that, your 1 cup of kiwi. Mashed. Clean. Delicious kiwi. And then you have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Oh, the cap's broken on this one. That's weird. Brand new container, I didn't even notice the cap was broken. Okay. I'm going to pour it to the side here so I don't do something foolish. Alright. We're going to have to figure out what to do about the cap here.
And then after that, you get a large spoon and just mix it in. Again, this is the dry ingredients, there's no wet ingredients, so you can open mix it. Then after that, put away your butter. Put it in your local refrigerator. And then, this is the fun part, you take the two of them together. Alright, now there's one more thing that you need to do before, but you could save it for later. I'm just going to show it to you now. On top, once your bread is all finished, you're going to put a decoration of kiwi on the top. Get this out of the way. What do I do with my knife? And then just slice the ends off. If your kiwi is super ripe, you can probably do this with a knife. Some people, what they use is a vegetable peeler. But if you need a vegetable peeler, that means your kiwi is not very ripe. Of course, that's my opinion. You can use more or less depending on how big your loaf is. Now, when I talked to my wife, she did not want the 3 pans that I had shown you. She wants these. So we're going to be doing this in a minute. So now you simply, here in California, we have to save all our food scraps. So when I used to have my own 7-acre farm, I saved everything, but everything's different in the city. And you do maybe 1/4 inch slice. And whatever doesn't fit on top of your loaf, you eat. Like I'll give you an example right now. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, so then you save this portion here for a little bit later. Set it aside. All right, the tricky part. Now you're going to pour the wet into the dry a little bit at a time. Let me bring the camera so you can see what it looks like. You really would prefer to not overmix this, but you want to make sure that all of it is included. That was good. Comedy of errors. Okay. Now, some people, what they like to do is they like to fold it in. We're going to try that. You just pick it up and you fold it like that. Just go around your bowl. Keep on mixing it. And you're just going to wait until it becomes one giant mess. See if I can show it to you closer. I would have thought this would have been a lot wetter loaf. It's coming. Just has to be incorporated. To make sure that the dry isn't stuck in the middle. It's not. There's some right here. You do like 20 of these a day, man, you'd have strong hands. Okay, here, take your loaf pan, and your parchment paper. This is just parchment paper that I buy at Sam's Club. Doesn't matter where you buy it. You make it a little bit bigger. I'll explain that to you in a minute. Alright, this might be overkill, but you'll get the point in a minute. Squeeze it in there, like so. Wherever there's a crease, it's going to show in your cake. It's not really that big a deal. What you're looking for is, okay, you want those handles, because you're going to use those handles to grab your loaf out of the pan when it goes into the cooling rack. Just too enough to find. Okay, so then you use your spatula and you put it in. Now, if you're the type of people that eats raw dough, you can eat this. There's no eggs in it. Some people like that. You see now that's not good right there, because we have to incorporate the dry into the wet. Otherwise it'll leave these funny looking bubbles in the middle. It's gonna be fine. Let's put the rest in. It's useless on the outside. When I first started, the house was freezing. That's why I started the oven so early. Now it's nice and toasty and warm. And you just take your spatula and you smooth this out, this mess out. Try to keep it one level. Not perfect, but it'll work. Then on top of that, you take your kiwis that you cut ahead of time and you lay them, if you can pick that up, that is, right on the middle. Then you just push them in a little bit. Yeah. I guess I could have, no, this one. Okay? And then it goes directly into the oven. It is all ready to go. But before you do that, you set your timer. Well, you can see it right there. I'm going to put it in the oven first. Okay. It's not in the middle rack. Make sure your oven is in the middle rack. Alright, then you put it in. You can put it like that. I'm cooking again. Why is that? Linda's coming home in a couple weeks. As a matter of fact, she probably will be here at Christmas time. Things are much better. She's doing better, I'm doing better, everything's doing better. That being said, you're going to see a lot more recipes coming out the door instead of product reviews. I really appreciate that you've been watching the product reviews and keeping my channel going. and we'll just come out with some more interesting recipes as we go along. Now, set the timer. Put on your timer. Timer for 1 hour. Yep. This is an extremely wet type of loaf, and thus it will take the full 60 minutes to cool. What I'm going to do next is show you how I'm going to cool it. You've got to pick up all this stuff, clean up your entire kitchen. You don't have a fancy rack like I have. There are many ways to cool your bread. It's just that this is cool and I like to use it. I'm going to use the paper handles from the cake pan and just lift it up and stick it right on the cooling rack. 30 minutes later, it'll be ready to eat. While we're having fun, I decided that I was losing all my spoons. So I came up with this kit. You know, I saw it on Amazon.com, and it's all magnetic. As you can see, it's all hang on to each other. And that means that after I've cleaned up everything in the dishwasher, it all goes back together again. I put it away in my foodie area, and I don't lose anything. Normally on a normal quick bread, I sift the flour. But because this was an extremely wet one, I decided to skip that. All right, that's it. So we're going to see you when the loaf comes out. See you in a few minutes. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. You got to turn off your oven. Take your cooling rack. This is your handles. Grab the handles. You see, I pulled right out of the, and just let it cool for 30 minutes. And go back over here and set your timer. Okay, it's all set. Could you eat it like that, like right now? Of course you can. You don't have to let it cool. But if you want to keep it and be able to slice it and put vegan butter on it, or even marmalade or kiwis, or anything that you want, then you have to let it cool. And that's what we're going to do. Now, I think this would have been just fine cooking this for 55 minutes. And until I slice and take a look at the moisture inside, I don't really know. But right now, what I see, you have a nice, beautiful coating on the top, and the kiwis look like they're well cooked, and it is a beautiful, quick loaf. All right, so see you in 30 minutes where we crack it open and take a test try. Test, taste. Oh, 30 minutes later, you can pick up the loaf. You can feel that it's a little bit cool, warm on the bottom. I always think that when you're introducing a beautiful loaf that you should add an exceptional cutting board. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slice up one end and see how, and as you can tell, it's falling apart, but it's very nice and moist on the inside. Oh,
This is really good. It would go great over persimmon jam, strawberry jam, all the jams that you can imagine would be perfect. So, I already talked to Linda about it, and she would like me to bring half the loaf and give away to some friends of ours who are visiting, and the other half is going to stay here. So, but I don't eat the entire thing because, you know, I'm still trying to get myself in shape. I'm going to eat a couple of slices right now and put the rest in the freezer. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this very quick video on how to make this delicious kiwi bread. And come back again and watch some more interesting breads I have coming up. Bye bye now.